everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Fondjoy, the Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman figure. I ordered this from Amazon.com. This is the deluxe edition, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, DC, the Batman action figure, 1/9 scale. The Batman, 1/9 scale action figure, Fondjoy. Here's the front of the package. The side simply says Batman. In the back, you can see the figure, some different display options. This is the version that comes with the unmasked head. Here's the barcode, in case that helps anybody. The packaging is very heavy, nicely packed. You can open it up, exposing the figure inside. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He comes with quite a bit of cool stuff. We have a display stand, 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, 2 heads, 1 alternate mouth for his head. He's got a couple different grapple launchers, different chest piece, large batarang, and then his flare. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Batman from the recent The Batman movie played by Robert Pattinson. This is by Fondjoy, and it's advertised as a 1/9 scale figure. It's more or less 8-inch scale, and I don't mess with 8-inch figures. My collection is 6-inch, 7-inch, and that's about it. That's why I don't get Beast Kingdom figures. Personally, I don't think they look all that good, and they're larger than I'd like. Now, I originally got the Batfleck from Fondjoy because Batfleck is a big, giant, bulking character, and I thought a 1/9 figure would be great with my existing collection, and it sure was. I do feel like they're a little bit less than 8 inches tall, which is perfect for me. So I went ahead and got this guy, pre-ordered the Justice League Batfleck. Let's check him out. I'll start with the face here. The cowl looks excellent. You can see the little lines in the cowl, the eyebrows, spot on for the Pattinson Batman. The mouth also looks very good. Even the eyes, home run. We have that large collar in the back. Articulation looks to be at the bottom of the neck. Here's the bat symbol on his chest. We have an alternate chest piece where he took it out. He's got the weird things on his wrists, which I think are some kind of darts or something. Never used in the film. You can see the fins in the back. It is double jointed elbows and knees. Holster for his grapple launcher. Doesn't look like he has a holster for his flare, which is fine. Cloth soft goods cave. Well, not exactly cloth. Has a wire in it, so you can pose it, etc., etc. Overall, it feels good. He's a little bit stiff on the articulation. Maybe I'll get better over time. But it looks fantastic, and the size is pretty much perfect for me. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which I would say is on point. It looks excellent. I can totally see Pattinson in the sculpt on the mouth, the cowl, the eyes. Like I said, excellent job, Fondjoy. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff, the display stand. His display stand comes in 2 separate pieces. When put together, it's going to look like this. We have the large oval base at the bottom saying the Batman, and this is Batman from the Batman. Then it has this post. You can rotate at the bottom. It's hinged. It's also ratcheted. Hinged again here. Hinged again here. Rotation here, and this clamp to hold your figure. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 6 of them. 4 right hands and 2 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of default hands. They would look good relaxed at his sides. And he has 2 additional right hands. Here's the first one. This is a gripping hand with a trigger figure. And then here's the second one. This is a traditional gripping hand. Now let's look at his heads. He has 2 of them. One with the mask on, one with the mask off. And the head with the mask on has 2 different alternate mouths. One with a normal expression, one with an angry expression. Here he is, with his first head. This one has the cowl on, and the regular mouth expression. And here's his alternate mouth. This one has the angry expression. Here's his alternate head. This is the unmasked Robert Pattinson head, and I'll tell you, the likeness is kind of weak. Sure, the hair and the makeup around the eyes, but as a whole, it just doesn't look like Robert Pattinson to me. And unfortunately, the way the head is done, with the head and the neck one solid piece, you can't head swap and make a Robert Pattinson in civilian suit. And honestly, I wouldn't really want to with the makeup on the eyes and stuff. Next, let's check out his chest plates. He has 2 of them. One with a large batarang in it, and one with the batarang removed. It's not exactly a batarang, he used it more so like a large knife in the film. Here's his first chest piece. This is the one that has the batarang still intact. And here's his alternate chest piece. This one has the batarang removed. In addition to that, I see all kind of damage and bullet holes around it. And speaking of which, here's that large batarang. And as I recall, he used it kind of like a blade in the film, pulled it out, and cut this electrical cable. It's got a little bit of yellow at the top, which I don't remember from the film, but I imagine it's accurate. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to use that batarang. Here's a look at his adhesive gun, at least that's what it's called. He had this in the film, but never actually used it. This is what goes into the holster on his hip or thigh. And it looks pretty good. At first thought, I would assume it's a grapnel launcher. Sculpt is good. Paint job's good. You can see the round sort of barrel there. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to use his adhesive gun. And here he is, holstering that gun. Now let's look at his grapnel launcher. Pretty basic, pretty small. This small one here, it will attach to his wrist. This is how it looks when it's not being deployed. You can see the little circle here where the line will wrap in. And on the back, it has this little sort of thing that's going to plug into the hole in his wrist. And then we have the bigger version of his grapnel launcher. Once again, this is where it'll plug into his wrist, and this is where it's deployed. He's about to use it. Here's that smaller grapnel launcher attached to his wrist. This is how it would be pretty much all the time when he's not using it. And then here he is with the extended grapnel launcher, like he's about to go up into the city skies. And now we have his flare. This will be from the end of the film. Pretty confident this is not his adrenaline shot. He's going to hold the flare at the bottom and at the top. That's where it'll light up. Here's Batman holding his flare as he's leading the people of Gotham to safety. Now to talk about his cape for a moment. It's made of a soft goods material. It stretches out about this far. It looks pretty good. Kind of has the consistency of a trash bag, at least visually, but does not feel that way. It's got a bendy wire on either side, so you can pose it and have it sort of flowing in the wind. That sort of stuff. Have it flowing behind him, etc. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. And this is something I was really curious about. They're advertised as pretty much 8-inch scale, but they typically are smaller than that, which is the only reason I buy them. So from bottom to the top of his head, he's standing about 7.2 inches tall, which can translate to just over 18 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.4, maybe 7.5 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head and neck is one solid piece, and the articulation is quite limited. He can rotate about this far from side to side. You can hear how tight it is. He can look up and down about this much, which is pretty good, all things considered. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out about 90 degrees. Up, down, around. The shoulder pads do a pretty good job of going over the shoulders. He's got this butterfly joint, allow him to go forward and back. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, but they don't go in very far. All the armor is sort of blocking it. His wrists can rotate and hinged as well. He's got a ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Does a pretty good job hiding it under the armor plates. Another one is waist, and you can hear it's very tight, doesn't move very much, forward and back. Legs, they go out, I don't know, about this far, not that much. Ball joints in there. He does have drop down hips. You can see the big gap at this point. It makes him even taller, but shove him back up there, and that's how it's supposed to be. They go forward, I don't know, about that much. Back, not at all. Double jointed knees. And then his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt rock barely at all. Foot can pop off fairly easily. In fact, a lot of the parts of this guy can pop off easily. He also has toe articulation, minimal. But I'll tell you, this took me probably 5 or 6 attempts to do this shot. Now, I did push some of the articulation to the limit, but a lot of his pieces can come out. And when you add so many features to the figures, it can be frustrating at times. So I move this guy around, mouth falls out. Move him around some more, chest falls out. Pushing his articulation as far as I can. The waist comes apart. Now, it's not easy to do, but if you're pushing to the limits, it can be done. The legs, I was kind of curious how far it goes. Bam, comes apart. Easy enough to fix. The foot, similar kind of issue. Move it around too much, and it can come off. Like I said, you give the guy too many features, try to give him a bunch of articulation, things pop out. They could be a little bit tighter. The little ball joints could be a little bit bigger, fit into place better. So, a little bit annoying. The stuff doesn't just fall off by touching him. He's not like the older Mafex figures where they just sort of crumble. But there's definitely an element of frustration here with those aspects. Here's a look at Robert Pattinson's Batman in the Batcave in front of his version of the Batmobile. And then here's this Batman on a rooftop overlooking Gotham. And a closer look at this Batman. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Fondjoy figures. Here's the Fondjoy Pattinson Batman next to the Fondjoy Batfleck from Batman vs Superman. Both are fantastic figures, both look excellent, both are scaled great, great capes, great texturing, great detail, great likeness, at least with the chin. I'd say I think I like the Batfleck a little bit better than the Pattinson. He does seem to be a bigger figure. He's a tiny bit taller, but overall, he's just thicker, especially the head is way bigger than the Pattinson version. Looking forward to getting the Justice League Batfleck. Now let's check him out with some other Robert Pattinson Batman figures. Here's the Fondjoy Pattinson Batman, next to the McFarlane DC Multiverse version. And if you look at them, they are almost exactly the same height. Their shoulders are really close, the head and ears are really close. There might be like a 0.1 inch difference overall. A lot of people say Fondjoy is 8-inch scale, but the truth is it's not. It's just a tad taller than McFarlane. I mean, just a tad. And McFarlane made 3 different versions of the Pattinson Batman. One with a cloth cape, one with a plastic cape, and one with a mask off. And here he is, next to the Mezco Pattinson Batman. Then, next to Mafex's version. And now, next to the SH Figure Arts version, which I believe there's actually another one with a different cape. It's supposed to be a Tamashi store exclusive or whatever. If anyone knows where I can order one, please let me know. Thank you. So here are 5 different versions of the Pattinson Batman from different companies, from largest to smallest. Fondjoy, McFarlane, Mezco, Mafex, and Figure Arts. Here's this Fondjoy Pattinson, next to a couple of Robert Pattinson Bruce Wayne figures. These are both from third-party, unlicensed, unauthorized companies. On the left, we have PC Toys, and that one is a ship figure. On the right, Noda Studios, and that one is top-notch. Excellent figure. Then, next to a NECA Edward from Twilight, which was also played by Robert Pattinson. And now, with a couple of Bruce Wayne Drifter figures by McFarlane Toys. Now, a lot of companies have made Robert Pattinson Batman figures, but no other companies have made any of the other characters in the film. Here he is next to McFarlane DC Multiverse Penguin figure. Now, I'm surprised that no one is jumping on Penguin merchandise with the show doing so well right now. Hoping we see some stuff in the future. Here he is, next to McFarlane's Catwoman. McFarlane made 3 different versions of the Catwoman. The one on the far left that's fully unmasked is a custom head. And finally, next to McFarlane's Riddler figure, there is a third-party Riddler figure coming in the near future, and he has some really cool accessories like Riddler clues and stuff. I actually got 6 of these Riddler figures at a deep discount. They're great army builders because there were tons and tons of Riddler followers wearing the same outfit at the end of the film. And here he is, next to a Diamond Select Toys Westworld Bernard. This is played by the same guy that played Gordon in the Batman and works for a great fill-in for Gordon. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a Fondjoy figure, they're advertised as 8-inch scale, but I'd say they're realistically just a tad above the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, next to some Diamond Select Toys, and some McFarlane Batman figures. And now, with some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures, here's Batman, next to a bottle of olive oil. And here he is, with some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. Then, with some Mezco and Mattel Batman figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it is a very nice Robert Pattinson Batman figure from The Batman. I love the scale. I love the detail. I'd say the negative things, it's really just that his body can come apart. His mouth is falling out a lot easier, and so is his chest than when I first got him. At first it was almost impossible to get the mouth out, and now it falls out not exactly easily, but if you bump it or drop it, it's pretty much guaranteed to fall out. It's also a little frustrating when you can pop out the waist or the hip or the ankles. They could have just made the ball joints a tiny bit bigger to prevent that from being so easy. And I'm not trying to be over dramatic. It's not like it's exactly easy, but it can be done if you push your articulation to the limits. The likeness is fantastic with the Batman mask. The chin looks great. The Pattinson face, just a little bit soft. Looks a little bit, not exactly cartoony, but just a little soft. His accessories are fantastic. They're plentiful, but there are a lot of other things he could have come with. Articulation is also very good, although it's kind of stiff and limited in some areas. If I were to rate this figure, first thought is 7.5 out of 10. He looks great. And that is taking into consideration some of the negative and some of the good things about him. He'd probably get an 8 or 8.5 if he didn't have some flaws. And he'd probably get a 6 if he didn't look so good. Or if he was scaled up a little bit taller. Like I said, they're advertised at 8-inch scale, but they are certainly not 8-inch scale figures. And I'm so happy they aren't, or I wouldn't touch them. That's why I stay away from Beast Kingdom. I'm a 6 and 7-inch scale collector. I'm not a scale Nazi. I mix all kind of different figures together. But 7-inch is kind of where I draw the line. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you can do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.